Welcome to this episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. I'm Eric.
And I'm Angie.
We are married with a ton of kids.
We have 6 kids total. He has 3 and I have 3.
My name's Hallie and I love riding horses.
I'm Lexi and I love agriculture.
My name's Carter and I love eating.
My name's Chase and I love lifting weights.
My name's Summer and I love spending my parents' money.
I'm Dane and I love baseball.
Our show is about our blended, blessed, and always a mess life. And our hope is if you find yourself in the same situation we are in, that by sharing our story, all the fun and all the mess, the challenges we are experiencing, it will give you some inspirations, laughs, and community, knowing you are not alone in this mess.
We appreciate you spending time with us. Let's dive in.
This episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess is brought to you by Club Car Wash. You know, Angie and I love to have a clean car. And the great thing about Club Car Wash is with their membership packages, no matter where we're at, we can wash. And we have kids in ball tournaments all over. So if we travel to Kansas City or St. Louis, there's car washes available from Club Car Wash. We've been in Illinois and Omaha, Nebraska before at ball tournaments and been able to wash our vehicles thanks to Club Car Wash. And if you love a clean vehicle, all during the month of February, 50% off any new membership for 3 months. New members only. Again, 50% off a membership for 3 months if you're a new member to Club Car Wash during the month of February. Check them out. You're going to love them. Learn more at clubcarwash.com. Welcome to this week's episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. And if you are watching on the YouTube video, I am sitting in the room that we spent the last weekend, Angie's brother Craig and I, working on to get right to be a new shipping room for Angie and her books. And so you can see some pictures that we have of Angie and Hallie up on the wall behind us. And hope you're happy with how this turned out, honey.
Yeah, we shiplap the shipping department. I needed a place to put my books, and yeah, it looks so good. I posted a picture on our socials, but it's coming together. I sort of had an idea what I wanted it to look like, and then when I was gone last weekend, my brother Craig and Eric made it happen, so it does look good.
It looks great. You know, something we've learned, we're going to cover a wide variety of topics over the last week, but something that we learned today is we got to find you some cute barn clothes. Now, you're a fashionista at heart. You always have such great style. And we haven't equipped you well enough for the barn, I guess.
No, I've been raiding Chase's closet. So I feel like I'm good in the summer, but it's cold and I have good like coats and jackets and I don't want them to smell like the barn. So I definitely am going to need some barn clothes. So today I had a lesson with Phoenix and I had to once again go down to Chase's closet and I found me a thick flannel, and Eric laughed because I sent him a picture and I have my Gucci hat on, which, by the way, I'm not really a Gucci girl because I would never spend that much. So it's a knockoff hat, super cheap. But I wear
Thank you.
Yeah. I wear it to the barn because I do it just to aggravate Hallie because she's a true cowgirl. And so she would always make fun of the city girls that would, not wear the right shoes or the right clothes. And so I know what clothes to wear, but I have to add my own little flavor to it because I know she would eye roll at a Gucci hat at the barn. So I do that for her.
I thought it was super cute, and it ended up becoming just an incredible day at the barn today.
Yes, and I've been gone for a week, and so I have not been to the barn for a second. And February is the month that the trainer starts really working with Phoenix to ride her. And so we had that special moment on Hallie's birthday where I was able to watch Teddy, the trainer, get on Phoenix for the first time, like really get on her and try to ride her, which is just like so special. And I know I'm going to cry my eyes out, but like it's just such a painful experience because every second of this horse journey is a reminder that Hallie's not here. The one person I would want to experience it with is not here physically. I know she's here with me, but so it's like pain every step of the way, but it's so beautiful too. I don't know. Every time I think about it, I just think about the sheer fight that I have in me to carry this out. And that's why you don't mess with mama bears, because mama bears are definitely full of fight, grit, protection, all of it. And
Ferociousness.
Ferocious. And I'm ferocious in my fight that I will carry this out because someone did not allow Hallie the opportunity to carry it out. And so I will fight through this no matter what, because I will win in this battle.
I was showing some photos that you've been showing me today to some coworkers, and my buddy, I still can't believe that you own a horse. I was like, yes, and I still can't believe that for the rest of my life I'm going to probably own horses, because the goal would be that we have more horses from this horse at some point. And I'm like, so I'm wrapping my head around, like, this is just a beginning, like to really see Hallie's dream come to life and fruition. Yeah. It's not just one horse. Hallie didn't just want one horse. It was a dream of many horses. And so I'm mentally wrapping my mind around that. It's not just that I own a horse. We may own many horses over the next 40 years. Yeah,
big
for
plans,
sure.
Right. And it's been a week anyway. We'll dive into that. But
did you want me to sing? I got some big plans. Yeah.
Yeah, I said that for
I once sent Angie that when we started dating. And anyhow.
Yeah, you did. So I had a lesson today, and I always cry when I drive out to the barn. I share that over and over, but it's like me going to the cemetery. It's my way of still connecting with Hallie. And, I'm driving down this driveway to the barn, and it's just always like my first thing out of my mouth is like, Hallie, I miss you. And I love you. And this is so not fair. It's not fair that I have to do this alone. And anyway, she should be here. So I always cry when I go to the barn. And so I go to the barn, I put the halter on her.
Did you get it going? Because sometimes that's hard to go. How did that go?
It is hard because to me, it's not, just doesn't come natural. But I, for Christmas, got her halter that has HP Legacy across the nose, and on each side it says Phoenix. So guess what? That helps me put the halter on because I know how it's supposed to go. So I nailed it.
Nice.
Got the halter on her, took her out of her stall, go to the barn with the trainer. We brush her and just, I scratch her all over. I'm always just like, oh, I just want to get close to Hallie and the horse. I mean, that's just what it feels like for me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and then Teddy, the trainer, started working with her and then rode her. And then when she was done, she brings the horse, in and is like, okay, it's your turn. Now, let's just note that today is February 7th. And I'm like, what? Really? Like, what? Like, just like, so she's like, yeah, let's do this. Get on her. I'm like, okay, I'll get on her. Now, this is what my second children's book is all about. Are you with me? It's the voice I heard in the middle of the night asking, like, do you trust me? Are you with me? And that's the whole storyline of the book is I have an empty nest now, and I connect with this horse, and I hear this voice, are you with me? And it's Phoenix asking me to trust her. And in the book, that's the whole reason why it's called Are You With Me? And I have said over and over, I'm scared of horses. Even when we had that horse lesson longer ago,
yeah, I remember. Yeah,
I was not comfortable, really. And I just felt like it was like this, are you with me? And Teddy, the trainer, was like, get on her. And I never even thought twice. Okay, I'm getting on her. And I thought I was just going to get on her and sit on her because that also was enough for me, to be sitting there on this horse that we were there hours after it was born, and it was what Hallie wanted, all the things, and watch her grow into this amazing horse. And she's like, oh no, we're going to go for a ride. So she leads me around on Phoenix. And of course I'm like bawling at this moment of this first time ever getting on the horse. And she led me around for a little while. I'm just like soaking it all in, like trying to imagine how Hallie would have felt. Like I'm constantly putting myself in her shoes because I want to live and experience this like she would have experienced it, and trying to imagine like how that would feel for her and how much excitement she would have had. Anyway, so then she stops and like, okay, you can do this on your own. Now let's keep in mind that the trainer has only been on Phoenix probably 5 or 6 times riding her. But Phoenix is so smart, and the trainer has done such an amazing job with her that she's like so trusting too. Like we're both trusting each other. And she walked alongside Phoenix, and I led her through these cones, and then she backed away and was like, okay, you're totally on your own. And like, I'm working with Phoenix trying to navigate this, both not knowing what we're doing. Right. I mean, that's the whole grief journey. So emotional. So emotional. And then I left and I called Aric, and I'm like, can't even talk, can't even breathe. It's just such.
It's powerful. It's painful beauty.
So much pain, so much power, and all of it. It's like the fight to make her bucket list come true when she can't.
Yeah, and I just feel like there's a couple of things. Every time we talk about how smart Phoenix is, and that's the trainers tell us that, right? So we have to believe that because we don't know anything about horses. But it does seem like when you're around her, she's a good, smart horse. And that happened again today with you on her. And I always have to give tribute when I tell people that Hallie did that. Like Hallie did the research, picked out the stud for the mare. This is her horse. So yeah, I'm not surprised that it is a smart horse, the dream horse that Hallie would have wanted. And so I love that. And I'm very grateful that you picked up the phone and called me, even though it was hard for you to get out words because my heart just ached for you, but it also had pride for you. I know that Hallie was with you and smiling it down. Well, that's my mom. Go mom.
With her Gucci hat.
Yeah, that part, she was like, I don't like your fit, but go mom. And so super proud of you. I had a feeling today, if you went out there, that you would end up on the horse.
I know you.
That was my vibe.
Like, are you gonna get on the horse?
Yeah, I just had a feeling all day that's why I didn't want you to cancel the appointment. I felt like you were going to get on that horse today. I don't know why. There's just something internally kept telling me that. So when you made the call, and now seeing the video later on, it's beautiful. It is painful beauty. But I could not be more proud of you and proud of Hallie for picking out this horse and the way it's all coming to fruition, and glad that we can be a part of it.
Yeah, for Christmas, Aric had given me a photo shoot with Amber Kelling, who is like our family photographer. She's very first time I used her was Hallie's senior pictures. And then she took our very first family pictures together.
Yeah.
She took our photos for branding for the podcast. She took our engagement pictures. She took our wedding pictures. She was there through the emotional wedding and the crew saying, I do. And then she was there at the hospital taking the painful, beautiful pictures of our last time with Hallie. And now she's going to take pictures of Phoenix and me and Liza and the trainer. And in my mind, I booked it in April. For one, it would be green outside, but also thinking I'll maximize my chances that I could take a picture being on Phoenix. I mean, that's in my mind. It was like, it's months away. Like, so by then I should be able to sit on the horse, and literally today I'm riding her. And then when I left, the trainer was like, now every time we do a lesson, you're getting on the horse.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
That's awesome. I love it.
So
that's great.
That's a moment in time, like now, what happened today. But we should backtrack to the last week because it's been a
whirlwind.
Like, like our life, right? So last Wednesday morning, left at
10 days ago. If you're listening to this podcast Sunday, 10 days previous would be the Wednesday.
Yes. My sister Jessie and I left at 4 a.m. and drove to Florida to help with this Jen's Get Fit retreat. So I did this last year. This is our second year. And we plan and orchestrate it in partnership with Jen. And 8 lucky women win this trip, this retreat, and it's just like a weekend full of spoils. And so for one, I'm just extremely grateful that I get the opportunity to be a part of this, because life really is about experiences. Everything. Like if you think about it, like that's really what this life is about. And every experience shapes us in one way or another, good or bad. They create our beliefs and they guide our perspectives, everything. So experiences to me are so important. And the more experiences you have in a lot of ways broadens your knowledge. And just, it's an honor to create experiences that make women feel loved, feel special, feel worthy, feel strong, feel beautiful, because I would say 95% of the women have not had great experiences in life that has diminished their value or their worth. And so for a weekend, we get to make them feel so loved. The weather was beautiful. So I have this guy that is this bonfire guy. I don't know if we've ever talked about him.
Bonfire David.
The bonfire guy, David, he's from Israel, and he just had, the very first time we booked him, he had a super traumatic loss, horrible loss. His sister lost her daughter in the Gaza attacks. And it was just this intersection, this point in time where him and I just connected. And that night, the first time we had him do our bonfire, we had the most insane sunset. Like you could not even imagine the beauty unless you were there. No one was on the beach. We had the night to ourselves. It was just epic moment I don't think anybody will forget. And so now I've booked him several times since, and he always is like, he makes sure that he's our bonfire guy. And it was so funny and cute because on Friday night was the bonfire night, and it was supposed to storm all afternoon. And it did. It rained all afternoon. Our videographer was there, and she's like, I don't think this is going to work out for you guys. It's not going to work out. Like, here's the weather, and, what's your plan B? And I'm like, oh, no, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called him. I'm like, okay, what's the deal? Like, and he's like, Angie, don't you know me? He's like, I will always take care of you. I got you. I'm going to go there. I have a covered trailer. And when it stops raining, I'll set up and then I will call you. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He went and set up. He called us when it was time. We went there and they had a beautiful night. And the rest of the weekend, the weather was beautiful. You and I love this, but I cannot preach it enough that I will forever believe that sunshine and the warmth around you is like medicine for your soul. And
100%.
So 1,000%. Like there's just a different level of peace and joy when the sun is shining, it's radiating, and it takes the edge off. And the whole weekend, it was hard work. It was early mornings and late nights. But when you are doing something that you love and providing and being able to experience these women feeling joy and love, it never feels like work. And my sister Jessie, she's so free. She's the queen of making women feel beautiful through doing their hair, and she did some of the makeup. It's just, she crushed it. But there's something, everybody loves hair days. Even guys love hair days.
I do. I like getting my hairs did by Jessie. I get them done by Jessie. So move over, Queen Latifah. Queen Jessie's rolling into town.
That's right. She's coming for you. The one thing that I really enjoyed and cherished from the event was just time with my sister. Even we're so busy. Everybody's got kids and you're running them everywhere. And we had one night we had a little bit of time that was sort of unplanned. So the girls had a dinner, and the other people that were helping with the event drove them there, and then they went dinner somewhere else. So it ended up being where Jessie and I were just at this big house. So we stay at Hallie's house as the base of operations, but then this big house is for the members that won the event. Spa night. So we like cleaned up everything. We set up the spa night, and normally we would have just gone to dinner, which would have taken longer. But then we decided we're just going to DoorDash some salads. And so it was quiet and we didn't have a lot going on. And we started watching these TikToks about sisters, and we were dying laughing. And we decided we should probably make a couple of TikToks about sisters. And I have not belly laughed like that in years. Like we were wheezing, laughing so freaking hard. But I think it was such a release and therapeutic for both of us. And,
as I mentioned to somebody afterwards, you sent the videos to me and her husband, Matt, and I could just feel real joy in your eyes because I could see that you were smiling and laughing, and I could feel that there was a joy from spending the time with your sister. And that made me really happy for you because I know how few and far between those moments can be. And so to see that was awesome. I loved it.
Well, Jess was close to Hallie. I mean, they were connected, and it's been hard for her too. It's so hard for families that are trying to support and keep Hallie's memory alive. It's hard for them too. It's hard for siblings. Like I feel like siblings get forgotten about, and then families that are there trying to lean in and help support. So it's been hard on her too, and just my entire family. So it was like, I feel like it was such a release for both of us to just be like, let go and really belly laugh and not hold on to the grief 24/7 and just be stupid. And I mean, we were stupid.
They were funny TikToks. It was funny. Yeah.
They're posted out there. But anyway, it was funny because we were sitting there eating, and I swear to God, I would have thought someone roofied me or something. But I'm holding my bowl of food, and it's like this little tiny butterfly flew out from underneath of my bowl. And I don't think it did, but that's what it looked like. I don't know what it was. But I'm like looking down at it and just like, what are you looking at? She was sitting right next to me. And it's dark out, okay? And we're in this big house with windows all around. And we're on the second floor. The kitchen's on the second floor. We're sitting at the kitchen table eating, but dark and windows all around. And I'm like looking down. She's like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know. It looked like this little tiny butterfly flew out. We start laughing like, what is wrong with us? Like here we're a hot mess, dying laughing. And then that happened. And then all of a sudden, something is like hitting against the door, like knocking at the door. And I mean, we were like, whoa, what is that? Jessie said she saw something, like thought something was hitting up on the door. I only just heard it. Like I didn't see anything. Of course, then she's freaked out. Like, oh my God, you're in this big house. And of course I'm like, bring it. come get me.
She called me. I was like, it's just like, Hallie messing with you guys.
Mess with me.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was fun. So that was great memories. The whole weekend was beautiful, and I can't wait to share some of the pictures too, just the experiences that we were able to provide.
I know that you love going on the retreat with Jen, and they're obviously members of her workout program, so you're helping. But I feel like it's something that you too would be passionate about if you could find a way to make like a retreat happen in some way, shape, or form.
I'm curious. This is a question for our listeners, so just message me or comment on our post. But I am starting a grief group. It starts next week, a virtual group for just a small group of mamas, just to kind of see what that experience is like and how it might be beneficial, or kind of learn from it with a smaller group. But I've also thought about like a weekend at Hallie's house. But my only hang up with it is that I don't have like a funding mechanism. So you would have to pay. Like I would orchestrate it, but you would, have to pay and cover the cost. So I'm like, I don't know if people would be willing to pay to then have this like weekend of like solace and just.
I think women would pay to spend a weekend grieving with you. I do think that.
Yeah. So
I could be wrong, but I think so.
I know you pay to spend a weekend with me.
Yeah, but guys aren't allowed on this grief retreat. It's females only, and I'm not off. It's not a couples retreat because I don't think
Yeah,
you're gonna get what you
no,
want out of that.
which might be fun too.
So couples retreat. Vince Vaughn, great movie.
Yeah.
Jason
Oh God,
Bateman.
such a
Yeah.
funny movie. So then we headed back on Monday. This is where the week gets crazy.
Things start to take a turn.
Always not in control, not in control. So we headed back Monday, and I had meetings in Nashville for work on Tuesday. So we drove back and stopped in Nashville at this mall. It had all these great stores, and Jess and I shopped. But we were walking into the mall after we ate at True Food, which is like one of my faves. And we kind of looked at each other like, when was the last time that we ever went and shopped together or even had dinner together? Years. It's like, this is so stupid, right? Like, you get so busy with all the day to day that you forget to live, or even with grief. Like, everything's so freaking heavy that you forget to like sit it down for a second and like breathe and laugh and allow yourself to feel a little bit lighter. So
I'm
then
glad that you did some on this trip because I can tell since you've been home, even though we've had a lot going on that we're still going to cover, you have felt like a little bit lighter, I would say, if that's the right word.
Yeah. Well, your cup gets filled with the things that matter, right? So then I had meetings on Tuesday, had a flight back on Wednesday afternoon, which I don't know. I might be getting Alzheimer's, but I actually forgot one. I'm a great planner and organizer, but I forgot one little detail.
It's kind of a big one.
That I was supposed to drive my car when we left to St. Louis and leave it there so that when I flew back on Wednesday, I would have it in St. Louis. And I forgot to do that. So I was about an hour from Hallie's house on the drive down when I realized I didn't leave my damn car in St. Louis. So someone's going to have to pick me up. And I had plans. I got it figured out. I was going to ride home with Amber because she was already going to be in St. Louis for work meetings. All good. No big deal. Tuesday morning, we get a text from my sister Trisha saying, I'm taking mom to the ER because she's super dizzy and doesn't feel good. So she takes her to the ER in Columbia where we live, and high blood pressure, feeling completely off, dizzy.
Like 200/95.
Yeah. And they felt like they got it under control and sent her home. So she went to Trisha's house, and then it was like ridiculous high again. So then they bring her back, and I'm like, okay, I'm coming home. So I changed my flight from Wednesday afternoon to Wednesday morning. Didn't sleep Tuesday night because I kept watching my phone, trying to figure out and my feet were on fire because dumbass me, I never wear heels.
Never.
When I was shopping with Jesse, I found these cute heels. So I wore them the next day, knowing that I was going to have to walk that much.
Angie sent me a picture of her outfit that morning. And in my mind, I looked at it and I was like, she's wearing heels. That's odd. Okay. And that was all I thought of it at the time until it became a problem that evening.
Yeah, it's a problem because I didn't think I was going to be walking, and then realized that this meeting I had, you had to walk a decent distance. Then from the meeting, we were walking to dinner, and I walked a half a mile on uneven concrete with shoes that maybe weren't good at all, comfy wise. And by the end of the night, I had blisters on it's not the heel. What's the other part of yours?
The sole.
The sole of my, like by my toes. That right there is called the sole. What do you call that spot? I don't know.
I would call it the sole, the pad.
Right by my toes. When you wear heels, that part right there.
The pad. All right.
Wow, it was not good. Not good. And I'm tough. I feel like I'm tough. I'm not going to, be a diva here and say I need a ride to go a half a mile. I mean, traffic's terrible in Nashville, so it would have taken forever. Anyway, so I didn't sleep. Get the early flight home. Aric, husband of the year, comes and picks me up from the airport.
Well, I didn't sleep either because I went up to the ER. I helped make sure we had a doctor because I know some people at the hospital. Make sure we had a doctor that knew Alice's case. Then I sat there with them from like 8 to 12:30 in the morning, and then had to get up early to get to the airport to get her. We were both exhausted. For sure. That was Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, I picked Angie up. She spent the rest of the day at the hospital with her mom and dad. Then we came up with some of the kids, Chase, Summer, Carter, and spent Wednesday evening. And then finally, yesterday afternoon, Angie is at the hospital again with her mom and dad and gets to bring them home. And so now we have roommates.
Yeah, they're staying at our house so they can be close to the hospital and be comfortable until mom feels good to go home and not worry about like being an hour away. But I'm weaving in what I'm grateful for into this. But
Sure.
I'm so grateful that I can be there, right? And there's flexibility and all the things, and that I can help take care of my parents. But I'm also grateful for my parents because in those moments, like that's when you know what's real and not real. And, I watched my dad in the hospital, and most of the time he sat there and just kind of stared at mom, not in an uncomfortable way.
That's directed at me, by the way. But okay. All right. Didn't have to go there.
No, he was just sitting like kind of back behind her. And, most of the day he just kind of sat there and stared at her. And in like just such a caring way. And then that night I was getting them situated, and mom has vertigo really bad, is why she's went to the hospital, and then her blood pressure got crazy. But the vertigo, like I've had it before, it's freaking awful. She can't really turn her head very good without getting dizzy. So I scooted dad in this recliner he was in to be right next to her bed instead of back behind her. And then I look over and they're holding hands, and it's like the sweetest thing. And I just like try to remember that because I know life's short.
Yeah.
And just remember that beauty in those moments where it can be scary, it can be painful. There's just like awareness of what's happening around you. But then that awareness also gets you, because then I brought them home, brought mom home, but obviously dad's with me. And we're leaving the hospital, which is super close to Hallie's dorm and the hospital Hallie was in. And we're leaving there, and like you're excited, right? It's good. She's getting out of the hospital. I'm going to go to my house. And it's just like in my mind, because of this awareness that I never would have chose. It's like, I never got to bring Hallie home. Like, and then I try to imagine, like, what would that have been like? Obviously she would have had extensive therapy and care and all of that. But there was like this never being able to bring her home, and never had that like little glimmer of joy. And, we left without her when we went to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Then I drive past her dorm on the way home. Then right past her dorm is the hospital that she never left alive. And then you go home where everything continues without her. And it's just such a life's just such a full circle journey, right? You learn something, it's painful, and then the next minute you're like applying those life lessons to the next experience that you have.
Yeah, I would agree. And in that moment, it's like you have this week of ups and downs, of highs and lows.
And then I go to my horse lesson. So that's the full circle journey of just what's transpired in the week. So beautiful, such a great weekend, to scariness and pain to beautiful again. And it's Friday night, and my parents are hanging out in the spare bedroom waiting for us to finish the podcast so we can turn on a Hallmark movie.
I'll be editing the podcast. I'll be out on Hallmark. I'll be editing podcasts. But is there anything else that you're grateful for before we wrap up today?
Grateful that, I know I shared this tonight when we were having dinner. We always say what we're grateful for. And, there's times where it weighs heavy on me that my kiddos drive 30 minutes to school. And I worry that sometimes they're not going to be at my house that often because their friends are in another town, and, devil creeps in on what if this or that. And then like this week when my parents are, my mom's going to go to the hospital, it's like, I'm so grateful that we live close and we have space. We have this set up where they can come and feel relaxed. But my dad today, because I had them all set up, right? I'm working remote. I've got meetings. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get you situated for this. And I got a meeting. And Dad's like, gosh, is this what hospice is like? I'm like,
I don't think so. Then you leave, I come home, I heat up their lunch.
Yeah.
Make sure they've got everything they need so they can get back to their Hallmark movie. Then you come home and you're like making a bath for your mom. Like they're like, it's like their retirement community, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, no.
I said earlier, your mom's be making up stuff to stay. She's like, I don't think I feel quite right just yet. I'm like, okay, I mean, stay as long as you need.
So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that we can have that space.
Yeah, I'm really grateful
for you, obviously. I mean, I know I don't say it enough, but just the way that you've helped out and supported when I wasn't here and being at the hospital and just taking care of everything, running kids to get them their things. Like Chase needed a pair of pants and he met him halfway to get his pants when I was gone. Just all the things. Like I can't go and do these experiences and fully enjoy them without, you holding down the fort and just knowing that you're going to take care of everything.
That's very kind. Yeah. I'm grateful for many things this week. And I'll just say I'm grateful that your mom is feeling better. She's one of my favorite people. I told her that. I love her and I'm glad that she's doing well and that she's here and that we can take care of her because I know that it makes you very happy and she's a wonderful woman. So I'm grateful for that. Grateful I get to go watch Carter play his first college baseball game tomorrow. That's a dream he's had since he was a young boy. And so I'm going to drive about 6 hours to Memphis and watch him play baseball tomorrow. And then finally, just grateful that I've had quality time with all of the kids in the last week and a half. And so that's been good for my heart, trying to connect with each one of them as they get older and make sure that they know how much I love and care about them and want to show up for them. And so to have some one-on-one time with them has been good. That is what I have. Do you have anything you would like to add before we get this Hallmark crazy movie on a Friday night? My guess is that somebody is going to show up into their old hometown and then probably they're not going to like a certain person in the town, but they're going to be thrown together to work on a project. No. And then the next thing you know, they're going to fall in love. And
what? They don't get
I'm
together.
Guessing. They've got to get, I'm guessing. So that's what the rest of this Friday night looks like. And if you've ever seen a Hallmark movie, feel free to chime in. But otherwise, we thank you guys for listening. Hope that you have a wonderful week. Send your Vertigo tips this way, and God bless.
Thank you for listening to Blended Blessed and Always a Mess. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and at blendedblessedalwaysamess.com.
Reach out to us on any of our social channels. We would love to hear from you. Have a great week.